What's up, HASfit Tribe? It's your personal trainer, Coach Kozak.
I'm Claudia, and this is an at-home beginner strength training workout.
You'll only need dumbbells.
And we recommend having a few weights available so that you can switch it up depending on the movement.
Follow along with me for the standard moves.
And I'll provide some easier modifications.
If you're ready to go, let's get moving. All right, let's begin with the warm-up. The first one is going to be a hamstring sweep. Let's start with our left straight leg out in front of us. And now I'm going to swing my arms in a full range of motion as I hinge at my hips, come down. And when I reach the top, I'm gonna switch my leg. Now right straight leg out in front. Feel that stretch in the hips. So alternating between right and left legs here. You'll feel that stretch and that lead leg from the calf, hamstring, down through the glute. And then also getting a nice full range of motion with your shoulders on this one. Very efficient warm-up move, as I'm sure you can tell. Elevating your heart rate and at the same time working on really kind of total body mobility here.
Oh yeah, I feel this one in my hips.
Driving those hips back as you come down. So it's almost like you're trying to touch your glutes to the wall behind you. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, second warm-up move is going to be a deep squat plus an overhead reach. Let's start with our feet hip width apart, and our hands are gonna be up by our ears, palms forward. I'm gonna sit back into a deep squat, whatever deep looks like for you. Everybody's gonna be different. And then come up and reach as high overhead as you can. Back to starting position. Sitting back, balancing through our midfoot. So that means we're not falling forward onto our toes or rocking back onto our heels. Again, maybe every time getting a little bit deeper, pushing yourself on that deep squat to see how you can improve that range of motion, keeping that chest up. Breathing in on the way down, hold for about 1/1000, and then up top, like you're reaching as high as you can, trying to touch a tall ceiling. Full range of motion again, last one, and reach up high. All right, one last warm-up move for you here. It is a bent over T rotation. So let's start with our feet together, maybe just hip width apart, I should say. Hinging at our hips, back is straight, straight arms down. Now I'm gonna take my right straight arm and rotate, keeping my eyes on that hand, and come back to center. Now opposite side, left side, keeping my eyes on that hand as it rotates. Great one to loosen up your chest, shoulders, and as well as your back. A rotation, warm-up mobility move here for that mid-back and thoracic spine. Breathing throughout. Again, warm-up pace here. It's a dynamic warm-up. Moving through, warming up those muscles for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right.
Ooh, feeling warm and ready to go.
Feeling warm and ready to go. We hope
do
you
it.
are as well. We're gonna get started with the superset. So we have 2 complementary exercises that we're gonna perform back to back. The first one is going to be a dumbbell squat. We need 2 dumbbells for this one, working on our lower body, 2 heavier dumbbells, because our lower body is a big muscle group. We got a lot of muscles working together there. Feet are gonna be hip width apart. Our palms are gonna be facing us. Good posture to start here. Anytime we squat, we wanna break at the hips first. Hips, then knees, sitting back, keeping that weight even in our midfoot, standing back up. We're gonna do this one for 12 repetitions in total. So choose a weight that's appropriate for you for 12 reps. Doing it together. Ready, and begin. Sit back, good posture here, and back up. We're gonna inhale on the way down and exhale on the way up. So as we mentioned in our warm-up, when we were doing those deep squats, we don't wanna fall back onto our heels, and we don't wanna come forward onto our toes. Give it a nice flat foot. Having trouble doing that? Maybe do this one barefoot.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And depending on your mobility and strength level, it might be something you need to practice to get an appropriate depth.
And when we come back up, let's just bring our pelvis right underneath our rib cage. So no hyperextension of the pelvis, which would look something like this, where you're bringing it forward. Just straight exhale and right underneath your ribs.
And notice our pace here, right? We're not rushing through it in our strength training.
2 more.
It'd be a lot easier to rush through it.
Oh yeah.
But we're controlling that lowering phase. Last one. And there's 12.
Nice work.
Okay, so we're alternating this with a dumbbell neutral press. So we need 2 dumbbells. We're gonna do an overhead press. For most people, this next move, we're gonna need a little lighter weight than you were using on that first exercise. It's an overhead press. And we're also doing this one for 12 repetitions. We're gonna start with those dumbbells up in a rack position. Our elbows are in, and dumbbells are about in line with our chin. Now, keeping our palms facing in, we're gonna press straight up overhead, finishing with our biceps by our ears, and back down. Doing this one for 12 repetitions. Again, choosing an appropriate weight. Ready, and begin.
Exhale as you push those weights overhead.
Keeping your core braced throughout. You don't want a loose core. And when I say brace, it's like you got a balloon down there that you're trying to fill up, press out 360 degrees. Full range of motion all the way up. And notice how we're not getting our lower body involved here. We're not turning it push, jerk, and driving up, but instead it's all upper body. Legs are resting while your upper body's working, and vice versa.
That's 8.
Again, it's 12 in total. Notice how we're controlling the way down. Very important in our strength training. That'll be a theme throughout today's workout.
Last one right here.
And there's 12.
Excellent.
Okay, so that's one time through this superset. We're gonna go through it one more time. So it means one more set of squats, one more set of neutral presses. You got a little learning that's happened, so you should have that extra information to adjust your weight accordingly. So if that first set of squats was too easy, increase.
Yep.
If it was too hard, decrease the weight. Make it work for you. Choosing that appropriate weight. And that's all part of the learning process of strength training. You're gonna notice that we're not gonna give you weight recommendations because no 2 people out there are the same. Really just part of learning how to strength train is learning what weights are appropriate for you, for which movement patterns, and how many reps.
So generally, you want to feel fatigued around rep number
Well, for
8, 9?
Yeah, 9, 10, 11, and then 12 for
Yeah.
a set of 12. Okay, here we are, ready for our next set of squats. 12 in total, good setup here. Feet are hip width apart, and begin. Break at the hips, then the knees. Good posture. With those shoulders up, head in line with the spine. When you're coming down, we don't want to turn it into like a good morning. We're bending over here and finishing looking at the ground.
Head up, chest up.
Ideally, we're taking those thighs until they're parallel to the floor or just a little bit deeper. But if you can't get that depth with proper form without bending over or some other break in your form, then go as far as you can while keeping that proper form.
That's right. So for you, you might be here before you begin to feel that break in the form, and that's totally fine.
And we recommend on your own time you do some more of those deep squats with no weights just to help you and improve your mobility.
4 more to go.
Again, controlling that lowering phase right there. Every time. Inhale. Exhale. You got it.
2 more. Come on.
Every repetition.
Really be feeling it now.
Every repetition is getting us just that much stronger.
Last one.
And there's 12.
Nice
Okay,
work.
let's give those legs a break. And we're moving to our second set of our dumbbell neutral press. Again, adjusting your weight accordingly. First set was too easy. You didn't even feel it. Increase that weight. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself here. That's where our improvement comes from. And you'll also notice that we are purposely taking 30 to 60 seconds between these sets. In strength training, you need that rest time so your muscles can recover, and that helps you use more weight. All right, it's all part of the science, all part of the design. All right, dumbbells up in a rack position for 12 repetitions, and let's hit it. Straight overhead, controlling the way down. You got it. Palms facing in. This one's working your shoulders, triceps, even a little bit of back and chest. Doing your best to finish straight overhead, whatever your mobility allows. Everybody's gonna be a little bit different on that. Again, focusing on that breathing, inhaling on the way down. Exhaling as you drive those dumbbells straight up overhead. Come on, you got it.
3 more. Let's go.
You got it. Last 3. Getting stronger together, tribe. Come on.
2 more.
There's 11.
And last one.
And there's 12. Excellent. Let's kick off our next superset with an exercise for our upper back. It is a dumbbell reverse fly. We need 2 dumbbells, and they should be
Lighter.
light, okay? Lighter dumbbells. And if you don't have light dumbbells, you could always use a couple of water bottles or soup cans.
And
will probably do
honestly,
the trick.
sometimes just even your hands. Even
Sure.
nothing.
Depending on your fitness level.
Depending on your fitness level, it's okay to not have anything in your hands.
We have a dumbbell reverse fly for 12 repetitions. Our feet are shoulder width apart. We're gonna hinge at our hips, then have our back at a 45-degree angle, nice and straight. Elbows are bent here, and we're gonna keep and maintain that same bend in the elbows throughout the movement. Notice how I don't extend my arms. I'm gonna pull apart and squeeze the middle of my back, and then come back to center. Almost like I'm wrapping my arms around a tree and giving it a big bear hug, keeping those elbows bent for 12 repetitions. Ready, and begin. Squeeze the middle of the back up at the top, and then control that lowering phase. Again, one of those exercises that gravity's working against you here, so you just kind of want to let them flat back down. But every move has those 2 parts, and they're both equally important. That eccentric lowering phase and the concentric moving, pulling or pushing phase. 12 in total here. Squeeze up top.
That's 9.
And return. 10. 11. Here we go. Last one. And 12.
Awesome.
All right. We can set these weights down. We actually have a body weight movement for you next. It is for our lower body. We're going to perform a side lunge. So to modify this, it's just going to be adjusting your depth. Claudia will show you. Starting with our feet together. I'm going to step out to my right side, and then I'm going to drop my hips back and drive that knee out, back to center. Now to the left side. Now I'm getting as deep as I can. And what are you doing, Claudia?
I'm not going quite as deep. So I'm taking it to about a quarter squat here on the side lunge and coming right back up.
So adjust your depth to whatever your comfort level is for this one. We're doing 12 repetitions in total, so that's 6 to each side. Ready, and begin. Sitting back every time, dropping those hips back, sitting back. So that inside leg is straight. So each leg has a different set of muscles that it's working, giving us a nice full workout in that lower body, hitting just about every muscle group in our lower body with this one. From our abductors, adductors, quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, calves, all getting hit on this one. Controlling that lowering phase as you're coming down.
That's 10. 2 more. So 1 more on either side.
Breathing in on the way down, exhaling on the way up.
Nice work.
All right, so one more time through this superset.
Yes.
So we need those 2 dumbbells for our reverse fly. Again, adjusting the weight. Maybe you you were overly cautious and went too light and you need to increase. Maybe you chose the perfect weight. Or maybe you didn't heed our warning and you went a little too heavy. Now you need to lighten it up. Adjust it as needed for 12 repetitions. Getting into position, elbows are bent, and begin. Squeeze that middle of your back. Again, I always use the analogy that if someone were behind you, they put their finger in the middle of your back, you're trying to pinch their finger together with your upper back muscles. This one's working our rhomboids, our scapular muscles, rear deltoids, a lot of those smaller upper back muscles.
Three more.
Great for posture and shoulder health as well.
Last one right here, number 12. Nice job.
All right, there's 12. We can set those down. And we're gonna move into that second set of side lunges. A couple of good couple of good, big, deep breaths here.
There
we go. I did it. Okay.
Nailed it.
I don't know if I nailed it, but I definitely got it out. All right, feet are together to start. We're gonna step to our right side.
Or your left.
Or your left, and begin sitting back.
Sitting back and making sure that my knee isn't collapsing in.
Right, that's what's that knee gets driven out, right, as we're sitting down.
And as you go through this movement, if you're doing my variation where you're not going quite as deep, as you move through the movement, you actually might find that your depth is improving as you move along.
Exactly. As you're loosening those muscles up, especially if this is your first time performing the movement or one of your first times, as we're training those muscles in a new movement pattern. Very important that we add different lateral movements and unilateral movements into our workouts. We're moving in different directions, making each leg or side work independently of the other. This accomplishes all of those things.
2 more.
Good posture as well. Don't bend over too much.
Thanks for the reminder.
And there's 12.
Nice
You did
work.
it. Our next superset is going to be performed from the floor, alternating between a core movement and a pressing movement. The first one is going to be that core movement called a dead bug. And we're both going to get in the same starting position with 2 different variations for you here. Our arms are extended straight up overhead. Our legs are up in a tabletop position, and we're both driving our low back to the floor and having no arch in that back, but instead driving those abs down, keeping that lower back locked. Now, I'm gonna extend my right straight arm and my left leg at the same time, back to center, and then opposite side.
And notice my variation is what I would call a dead bug heel tap. So instead of stretching my leg out, I'm just tapping my heel to the ground and coming right back up.
So if you're looking to see which variation should you be doing, you should do the one that allows you to keep that lower back glued to the floor. So if you can't do my variation without that back arching, switch on over to the heel tap. We're actually not gonna count reps on this one. We're doing 30 seconds in total. Ready, and begin. So it's controlled, not a race whatsoever.
That's right. And oftentimes when you're trying to keep your lower back glued to the ground, you will notice that your core muscles are tightened. Like he says, you brace them, and that's what helps you keep that control as you lower and come right back up.
And this is a great one for those deep inner core muscles, that transverse abdominis.
That's right.
Great to protect our lower back. Functional strength also helps with a lot of common core issues that women face.
So exhale as you are lowering your arm and your heel. Inhale as you come right back up.
For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, excellent. All right, so as I mentioned, we're alternating this with one more from the floor. We're gonna perform a lying dumbbell chest press. We need 2 dumbbells for this one, heavier dumbbells. It's a compound move. Our chest, triceps, and shoulders are all gonna work together on this one. And if you have access to a bench, feel free to do this one from the bench. We're gonna perform it from the floor today, but the movement and setup are almost identical. We're gonna start with those elbows at a 45-degree angle, and our dumbbells are directly over our elbows. Now I'm gonna press straight up, bring the dumbbells together, not clinking them together, but bringing them together, and then controlling that lowering phase back to starting position. We're gonna perform this one for 12 repetitions in total. Ready, and begin. Again, a heavier weight for this one, but not a race, and we're not bouncing those arms up off the floor, and we're fighting gravity. We're fighting against gravity on the way down. So not just allowing gravity to take over and the dumbbells fly down, but instead controlling that lowering phase.
Also keeping our lower back glued to this one. You might notice that it feels the same as the dead bug. So just engaging those abdominal muscles as you press up overhead.
And that's just good practice for all moves to protect that lower back.
2 more to go.
Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale.
Ooh, nice work.
All right, we can set those down to the side, and we have one more set of those dead bugs. So again, depending on how that first set felt, you can adjust which variation you're going to perform here. Getting started in that tabletop position, hands are facing one another, arms are straight up, legs are up and bent at a 90-degree angle, and opposite side arm and leg begin. Lower back glued to the floor the whole time. It's really the main thing that you should be thinking about, is driving that lower back down. And
go ahead, sorry.
And by thinking about that, what you're really doing is forcing those abs to engage.
That's right. Flex. It's almost like you're flexing those muscles, almost like you would flex your bicep, except it's your core muscles here.
Yeah, they don't get a chance to relax. They're constantly contracted. That's on purpose. We don't want them to relax. We want them to work right here.
One of my absolute favorite core moves here.
Doesn't look like much, but when done correctly, it is an excellent move for safely engaging that core.
Yes, sir.
Especially if you have, previous lower back or hip injuries. This is totally safe for it.
Even if you have diastasis recti, any of those conditions.
Yeah, it's a great one to help correct diastasis recti.
Absolutely.
For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Whew.
One more set of that lying dumbbell chest press. Again, adjusting your weight accordingly. If you went too light, let's up it. If you went too heavy and you couldn't finish all 12 repetitions or couldn't finish them with good form, then let's lower the weight. But whatever you do, if it's feeling too easy and you're not even being challenged on reps 10, 11, and 12, don't be scared to increase the resistance. And I'm mostly speaking to females out there, because sometimes when you get scared, you're not going to become overly muscular. Don't be concerned about that. Lean muscle is only going to help you as you age. As you age, increase bone density, burn more calories at rest, and it's just going to be lean muscle. Yeah. So don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it.
Be strong.
Especially as we age. When we strength train, we're actually fighting against muscle loss.
Yeah, and muscle atrophy.
That is age-related.
Exactly.
So please, don't be scared.
All right, there. Speech is over. All right. Standing off the soapbox for 12 more repetitions. Ready, and begin. Can you tell we've read a bunch of comments, you all out there at home? We're just trying to help y'all. We're here to help. Your best in our hearts. Controlling the way down, driving straight up, Squeeze those chest muscles up at the top. Working the shoulders, chest, triceps. And again, even some core as we're keeping that lower back glued to the floor here, protecting our back.
3 more.
You got it. Right to the end. Come on. Getting strong.
Last one right here. Come on, push it out.
Ah, there it is.
Nice work.
All right, we're back up onto our feet for our next superset. And this one's actually a tricep, so we have 3 exercises here that we're gonna alternate between. The first one is a bicep and forearm dominant movement called a dumbbell Zotman curl. One of my favorite moves of all time. We need 2 dumbbells.
Speak for yourself on this one.
We're gonna do
Not my
12
favorite.
repetitions.
But it's a good one.
It is a good one.
Yeah.
Palms are facing forward to start, good posture. We're gonna curl up, all the way up. And then at the top, we're gonna rotate our palms so they're facing down. And now we're gonna control the way down. So palms are up on the way up, turn them over, down on the way down for 12 repetitions. Let's do it together and begin.
So good posture. Again, making sure that our pelvis is stacked directly underneath our rib cage. So none of this, but just nice and straight. This is gonna help when you breathe through the exercise. You're breathing properly with proper core engagement.
Also making sure, especially, come reps 9, 10, 11, and 12, that we're not starting to swing those dumbbells up and use a bunch of momentum. Really only thing that should be moving is that elbow joint on this one.
Sorry, we got a little off.
We did, I'm not sure what happened. I think it was my swing. I think I went a little fast.
You threw me off.
That's okay.
We'll call this one 6.
All right, 12
Okay,
in total.
Anything after that is just extra credit, so.
Yeah, hey, we're not perfect here, folks. We make no illusions or delusions of that.
Okay, this is 8.
Breathing. Big breathe out as we press, and then inhaling on the way down.
Ooh, yeah, I'm feeling it.
Locking those wrists into place. So we don't want what we call spaghetti wrists on this one. Making
Here's
sure
11.
that grip is working. You're feeling that forearm take over, that grip strength. Last
And
one.
12.
All
Nice
right.
work.
Okay, second exercise in the superset. It's gonna require 2 dumbbells again, but you should be using a heavier weight than that curl. That curl is an isolation exercise. We're only working one muscle group. Next up, we have a dumbbell bent over row. We're working multiple muscle groups in combination, so we need a heavier weight. We're gonna do 12 repetitions of a dumbbell bent over row. It's a move often performed with a barbell. If you have a barbell access, if you have access to a barbell, feel free to use that if you prefer. Same move. Feet are hip width apart, bending our knees, back is at a 45-degree angle, tight and locked in, not rounded here, right? Retract those shoulders.
Nice and square.
Now I'm gonna pull back from my elbows and return back down for 12 repetitions. Ready and begin. Core stays tight and locked in. Pulling from those elbows, not from the hands. So think about like there's a string attached to that elbow and somebody's pulling back on that string. That elbow's leading the way.
Ooh, hitting all parts of our back today.
That's it. Total body strength training workout here for you. No muscle getting left behind. Keeping that head in line with your spine.
2 more. Come on. Ooh.
Squeeze that back up at the top. There's 12.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so we can set those dumbbells down, and it's time to give our upper body a little bit of a rest. Moving to the floor, gonna work on our core and our posterior chain, our glutes, our hamstrings.
Yep.
With this next move, we're gonna do an isometric hip up, give you a couple different variations to work with here. Bringing our heels nice and close to our glutes. Now we're going to bring our glutes up off the floor, driving off our heels. This is an isometric hip up position. Now from here, I'm going to alternate right and left leg kicks.
and I'm going to perform a march. So I'm gonna bring my feet up about 6 inches off of the ground and returning to the starting position.
So my variation's a little more challenging. They're both great though. We're doing it for 30 seconds.
Yep.
Starting position and begin. The key on this one is to keep those glutes engaged throughout and do not allow your body to twist, right?
That's right.
Trying to keep that core parallel to the floor, right? You're not turning or rotating in any way.
I like to kind of keep my fingers on my hip bones here just to ensure that there's no hip rotation.
Oh, that's a great little trick there.
If you notice my hands are here on my hips, that's what I'm doing.
You feel your abs working, hamstrings, glutes, all working together here. Not much left. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ooh, yeah.
All right. So that's one time through that tricep. And we're back up onto our feet. Gonna allow those legs, glutes to rest while we work our biceps. Second set of our dumbbell Zotman curls. And again, adjusting that weight accordingly. Maybe you went a little heavy first time, you need to mix it up. You went a little light and you're ready to push it, whatever it may be. Adjust accordingly here. A couple big deep breaths. We're doing 12 repetitions. Good posture. Shoulders are back. Palms are facing forward. And begin. Up on the way up. Down on the way down. Again, I said it last time, I'm going to repeat it. No spaghetti wrists. What does that mean? That means that those wrists need to be locked in. It should be a straight line from your hand down to your elbow, especially on the way down, right? So they're not like that. It's hard for me to even, with this weight, even show you how not to do it. Have them nice and locked in. Great to improve the strength, and not only your biceps, but like I said, this one's working our grip strength and our forearms as well. The word we use the word bicep because there are 2 bicep heads, bi meaning 2, and this move is one of the few bicep exercises that's working both heads, long and the short head. That's why I said this is one of my favorites. Efficient exercises today.
Here's 10.
Getting a
2
lot
more.
in a short period of time.
Woo!
Burn so good.
Oh, yeah.
And there's 12. Okay. Dumbbell bent over rows are next for 12 repetitions. And what did we say? We need heavier weight. Shouldn't be using the same weight on a curl that you are on the row. Your back muscles are big, complex muscles working together. Biceps, not so much. So adjust accordingly.
Enjoying these muscular system talks we're getting.
Yeah, it's always difficult. It's like, how much do you give?
Hey.
I don't want to be too much, but you don't want to be too little. I want to try to educate as we're working out here.
Yeah. And also, we just want to make sure we're not having any awkward silence as we
There's that
switch
too.
weights.
We could just stare at the camera for 30 to 60 seconds during the break time, but something tells me the views would go down if we did that.
You know what? Knowledge is power. So we're going to roll with the anatomy lessons. Okay.
12 repetitions. We're going into that dumbbell bent over row. Feet are hip width apart. Bend over, hinging at our waist. Knees are bent. Back is straight. Head's in line with our spine. Pull back from those elbows. Begin. Control the way down. Squeeze that back at the top. Working multiple muscle groups here, including but not limited to
Here we go.
Our lower back, our lats, our biceps, our forearms, our rhomboids, our traps. Hamstrings and glutes are working just to hold this here.
Core
Working just to hold this here. Again, efficient moves today.
10. Come on. 2 more.
Come on, you gotta get in stronger every rep, right here. Boom, there's 12.
Nice job.
Okay, we can set those dumbbells to the side, and we're moving to the floor for our second set of those iso, short for isometric, hip ups. Come on down. That word iso, it means, it's just like to hold. That's really all it means. Isometric, it just means we're holding, no movement taking place. Just a permanent contraction or squeezing of the muscles. Bringing those glutes or those feet close to our glutes. Driving off the heels. I'm going to do the kicks.
I'm gonna do the march.
And 30 seconds. Ready, begin. Remembering to breathe throughout. Upper body's resting, lower body's working.
March as best as you can with keeping proper square form on those hips.
Feeling those glutes just squeeze and work, and the hamstrings as well. If you're feeling your quadriceps or your thigh muscles taking over on this, make sure you're bringing those heels back close to your glutes.
Oh, that's a good point.
If you're out here far, all of a sudden, your glutes are gonna take over.
Your quads are gonna take over.
Sorry, yes. You can tell my glutes are starting to catch on fire here, so harder to speak. Not much left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Excellent.
All right, that's
nice
it.
work.
Nice work to you out there, HASfit
Ooh,
tribe.
I'm feeling that pump.
Who said a beginner
you?
workout has to be easy? Didn't mean it wasn't efficient.
That's
Didn't mean
right.
it wasn't effective.
Yeah.
We are going to move into a cool down now. Easy part, if you will. Moving to the floor. Going to stretch out our hips. These cool downs help our heart rates come down slowly, and at the same time give us some much needed mobility and flexibility work. So we're starting in this lovely and attractive position here with our legs open and at a 90-degree angle. Now I'm going to rotate to my left side, maintaining that 90-degree angle. And if you immediately start to cramp,
Just kind of roll back a little
lie
bit.
back. If you feel a good stretch here in your hips, stay here. If you're not really feeling much of a stretch and you're pretty mobile, come on forward and bring that opposite side shoulder to the knee. You decide out of those 3 variations what's best for you. Just a static stretch on this one, so it's just a hold.
Whoa, I didn't feel the cramp, but actually it's coming on, so I'm gonna do a little lean back here.
Yeah, adjust accordingly.
Ooh.
And coming back up into center. And as you could probably guess, let's do the opposite side now. Rotating to the opposite side. Again, maybe one side feels good, other side cramps. You need to lean back, lean back. You feel good here with good posture, great. Or you can bring that opposite side shoulder. Again, great one to stretch out our, not just really the whole hip joint, as well as our glutes, some hamstrings, abductors. Great one to counteract the hip tightness that we get from a lot of the sitting of our,
Oh yeah, from our lifestyles.
our 21st century lifestyles. All right, come on back up. And now let's extend those legs straight out in front of us. So I want those knees down to the floor. Maybe first step, if you will. Compound 2 exercises together, starting with a toe touch, reaching as far as you can. For you, that might end up being a ankle touch, a shin touch, a knee touch, or a thigh touch. Reach as far as you can and just hold. Chin down into your chest. And now we're gonna come up into what's called a chest opener. Elbows are bent at a 90-degree angle. We're pulling back like somebody's pulling back on your elbows and your hands, pulling the chest back. All right, now dive back down into that toe touch. So alternating between these two. This one's working our calves, hamstrings, glutes, lower back, upper back, really whole posterior chain. And back up.
Such a classic move.
Chest openers, working our chest and shoulders. So between the two, we're getting just about everything. And last one, diving down. And sitting back up, pulling back on those hands and elbows, opening that chest up. Got a lot of good work in today. And relax. So about the only muscle group that we didn't hit on that one is our quadriceps. So let's hit that next with a side lying quad stretch. Moving to our left side, lying on my left side, left arm is out. I'm gonna reach back and grab my either my right foot or ankle. If you can't reach it, you can use a towel or a band to wrap around it. Just a static stretch. Trying your best to keep that knee down. Don't let it flare up. Quadricep is that big thigh muscle. And it's just a static stretch and hold here. Nice controlled breathing. for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And we can't let our other side go unstretched.
No.
So let's turn over to the opposite side now. Same move. Flip on over and begin. Just a quick moment here to acknowledge how awesome it is that you showed up today. Just to give you that affirmation. A million excuses you could have come up with for not getting your workout in today. We're all busy. We're all tired. We all have, so many excuses that come up on a day-to-day basis, but you didn't listen to those excuses. You showed discipline.
Yes.
You showed up and you got it in.
Amen. Preach it.
And you know what? Motivation is fleeting, but discipline, that's what sticks.
That's right.
So keep it up. Show up at your next regularly scheduled workout in 3, 2, 1, 0. Done with that one.
You don't have to get up, but
But
we do.
we are. And speaking of discipline and that building those healthy habits, one of the things that we really found helps establish those is following a complete exercise program. So like knowing what you're supposed to do day in and day out, opposed to just kind of like winging it, if you will. And so we have those complete programs available to you in the HASfit app. Whether your goal is to lose weight, build muscle, just kick butt at life, whatever it is, we got it there for you.
That's right. And those programs can be found on the HASfit app, which can be downloaded to either an Android or Apple device.
You can also help support us by stopping by our store, picking up some HASfit gear like a HASfit t-shirt or our diet guide, Eating for Life.
Don't forget to like us on your favorite social media channel.
Until next time, I'm Coach Kozak.
And I'm Claudia.
And we will see you at your next workout.